Aloha and welcome to How Did I Get Here? Russell and I met in San Marcos, Lake Atitlan, Guatemala. We actually became friends after I mistakenly ate almost all of his Reese's peanut butter cups in the freezer at our shared living space. I thought that they were actually left behind, but they were Russell's. I hope you hear about the beauty and utility of the nomadic life in Russell's story. I'm sending you love. Now here's Russell's response to How Did I Get Here?
My name is Russell Bailey, for anybody that's listening. I don't want to say anybody that's listening, everybody that's listening.
Yeah.
I know that this track alone has, 200 million visitors and listens. So excited to be a part of that.
Yeah.
I am from Los Angeles, California. I am a writer and a writing coach, but I would love to think of myself just as an artist or as a person, because that's part of what I do. Other things that I do are I direct, I act, I paint, I travel, I explore, like all the fun things, like the full human experience. But professionally, I identify myself as a writer and a writing coach. I help screenwriters and TV writers and now even video game writers and video game directors write video games. So that's something new that I'm exploring as well. But I love it. I love telling stories. So something like this is exciting. For me, how did I get here? How did I get to Lake Atitlan, Guatemala? This is my first time to Guatemala, and specifically this lake was calling my name. I first heard about this lake in Los Angeles, but then I heard about it again while in Mexico. I was down in Tulum for 2 months, and every once in a while something pops up that grabs my attention. And this lake in particular, I kept hearing about. I kept hearing about its magic. I kept hearing about the spirituality of it. And specifically, I kept hearing about San Marcos, La Laguna, where we're at right now. And just to give you an idea, we're just at sunset. We're sitting right here on a dock, and we're looking out at the lake. There's birds flying around. There's 3 volcanoes, but really only one's in view right now. There's clouds descending off the top of the volcano that we can see. That's Volca San Pedro. We can see San Pedro, the town at the base of it. We can see San Juan off in the distance. And I can't see Santiago right now because there's clouds covering it. I anticipate that sometime in the next hour, some clouds will roll in here. We can see them in the distance, that we'll get thunderstorms because we've now entered rainy season. But again, that's more of where we're at right now. How else did I get here? Something about me that I've been working on for a couple of years is trying to balance freedom and discipline at the same time. I've lived in Los Angeles for 14, 15 years with the goal and the dream of being a screenwriter. And part of me, though, has wanted complete freedom. What does complete freedom look like to you? To me, complete freedom looks like being able to be where you want, when you want to be. And so for me, travel really embodies my idea of freedom. And so about 2 years ago, I said, how can I make that a reality for myself? At the time, I was working a full-time job at Tesla. So I was working in corporate America, making a good dollar at a startup. I mean, a big company, but it still felt like a startup. And doing something that was good for the world, doing something that felt meaningful, but at the same time didn't feel quite what I wanted to do. I was doing that so that I could be a storyteller in my free time. And I really wanted to be able to be a storyteller all the time. So when COVID happened, I started saying, what can I do from my home? And I thought back and I realized that years ago, I had been working as a script consultant. I had been making money by reading completed scripts for movies and for TV shows, and helping people make their script better. But I said, what if now, instead of helping people with completed scripts, what if I helped storytellers from the start? So I started coaching. Instead of just reading scripts, I started to do one-on-one coaching where I helped writers write the script itself. And in doing that, I started to visualize a pathway of like, what if this could be the only thing I do? Because if I do this, I could do that from anywhere. Like if COVID taught us anything, it was that we can work from anywhere, which is so exciting. So over the last 2 years, I built this company. And when I say company, it's me. You know, it's a one-person solo operation, but that's intentional. I've ran a yoga studio in the past with employees. I helped run a Pilates studio. So like sometimes something like that sounds like freedom, you know, being a business owner, but the reality in doing those things, those were all encompassing. I couldn't leave. I needed to be there for it. So in doing something as small as being a coach, you know, it sounds, you know, itsy bitsy. It's something that is going to continue to allow me to travel. So since making that decision to be a coach, I've gone to Mexico 3 times, and, you know, been able to work remotely that way. I've been able to travel home. I grew up on the East Coast. Again, that's more of where I came from. I grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I was born in Norfolk, Virginia. But it's allowed me to go back to those places. And it's one day at a time. But it's a path to doing, you know, one little thing more each day that allows me to have freedom. So, and again, my definition of freedom. Everyone has a different definition. Some people have a definition of a suburban home with 2 kids and being able to come home and kiss those 2 kids goodnight each night. And that's their freedom, and that's perfectly valid, and I love that. But for me, for right now, and again, this could evolve, my definition of freedom, again, is being able to be where I want, when I want, with the people I want. And being here in Guatemala at the lake, that represents that for me. It's an external representation of me living my dream. So that's what this lake means to me, and that's how I got there.